The movie opens with a woman named Julie who has just moved into her new home. We learn that it's an old house where Julie and her husband Daniel hired workers to remodel the house they just bought. That day, a worker who's dealing with the bathroom finds Julie and hands her an old bracelet he found stuck in the drain, assuming it belonged to her. Though it's not hers, Julie decides to keep the bracelet anyway. When the couple retreats to the bedroom, Julie finds her cat Lou wandering inside the house. We learn that Julie is in the late stages of pregnancy and the couple seems as happy as ever, even though Daniel is a bit tired from managing the house renovation. Later that night, Julie fixes the old bracelet she got from the worker earlier in the day and puts it on. She then checks the box she brought with her. Just then, Julie begins to hear a child whispering down the hall. When she goes to check it out, she finds her cat Lou hissing at a top covered doorway. Julie is surprised by her husband Daniel, who excitedly shows her what he's done to the nursery room. Apparently, he's installed a baby monitor in the corner which can record video and is also connected to a microphone. Afterwards, the two attend an academia banquet as Daniel is a new professor at the local university. While mingling with the guests, Julie converses with an old lady about how she and Daniel just moved into a house near the lake. The lady says she knew the previous owners, whose wife unfortunately became very sick. When the old lady asks if they're going to have their first child, Daniel suddenly cuts in and says yes, surprising Julie. When they get home later, the couple argues because this baby isn't their first child. They had a son who passed away, and Julie is upset that Daniel had to lie about it. However, when Julie heads upstairs, she briefly sees her little boy standing afar, causing her to trip and fall. Julie gets rushed to the hospital, recalling her traumatic experience when she delivered their first child, who was stillborn. When Julie awakes, the doctor informs her that the baby is alright but has experienced an abruption where the placenta separates from the uterus, potentially causing premature birth or death. The doctor strongly suggests bed rest until the baby's due date in 8 weeks, avoiding stress and physical activity. Since they were in the middle of renovations, the doctor recommends putting major projects on hold until after the baby arrives. A few days later, Daniel tries to cheer Julie up by showing her several things he set up in the bedroom. He has prepared a tool for her to grab objects, along with an iPad, her laptop, and a walkie talkie she can use to summon him. The next day, she works on her laptop, watches TV, and entertains herself with the cat. Later, she hears a child laughing and a baby's cry from the bathroom, so she retreats to the bedroom. To her surprise, the closet door cracks open on its own, but when she looks, she finds nothing. That evening, Daniel scolds Julie when he sees a UPS box in the bedroom, knowing she must have gone downstairs to retrieve it. They argue again, with Julie saying she feels debilitated from not being allowed to go anywhere. Fortunately, Daniel immediately apologizes and they make up. Later that night, when Daniel falls asleep, Julie lies awake and hears the closet door creak again. She sees a figure peeking from behind it, so she wakes Daniel. He arms himself and opens the closet but finds no one there. On day 13, 43 days until the due date, Julie watches TV while cleaning the bracelet she found earlier. She notices a little boy playing in the yard and says hi out of boredom. Julie asks where his mom is, but the boy turns grim and points at her. Suddenly, she gets an alert from the baby monitor detecting movement in the nursery, but it's only Lou the cat. Despite this, she notices the reflection of someone's face in the mirror. She calls 911, reporting an intruder, and the operator advises her to lock the bedroom door. Wet footsteps appear on the ceiling just before the sheriff's car arrives. When Daniel gets home, Julie has just finished explaining what happened. The officer says he can't find any suspect, leading Daniel to worry. After the officer leaves, he and Julie argue again, with Daniel thinking she is hallucinating. He hires a babysitter named Delmy, even though Julie refuses. That night, Julie examines the box she was about to open earlier. It contains toys for the previous child, Andrew. She recalls her son's stillbirth and begins to cry. Later, she sees Andrew's toy car move on its own and realizes it has been taken from the box. She concludes that the boy might be the ghost of a stillborn son. The baby monitor alerts her to movement in the nursery, so she tries talking to the boy. Daniel interrupts, saying he heard the door slam, and Julie claims she was trying to FaceTime a friend. On day 23, 33 days until the due date, Daniel hires nurse Delmy to care for Julie. During a health exam, Delmy shares her infertility struggles and comforts Julie about her stillborn son. On day 27, Delmy helps Julie with the bath. Julie experiences a contraction and is prescribed medication after revealing her hallucinations of Andrew. Julie overhears Daniel discussing her mental health with the doctor, learning that if the medication fails, she might be admitted to a facility. On day 18, Julie notices a cat ball rolling on its own. She realizes Lou isn't responsible and sees rapid footsteps, meaning Lou can also see the boy. Julie watches the baby monitor, calling Andrew her son. On day 46, 10 days until the due date, Andrew appears, warning Julie that she wants the baby. Delmy enters and the ghost disappears. Julie asks Daniel to fire the babysitter, trusting Andrew's warning. 3 days before the due date, Delmy shares a story about Melendra Kinsey, a woman who killed her three sons and committed suicide. Julie realizes the bracelet initials MK match Melendra, Kinsey, and Richard researches the story. On the last day before the birth, Daniel is away and Julie uses an automatic vacuum cleaner equipped with a camera to check the nursery. She sees the boy's ghost and asks if Melendra Kinsey wants a baby. The boy runs, showing two other boys before the camera dies. Julie experiences heavy footsteps and hands fiddling with her stomach, calls for Delmy, and gets left alone. She goes into labor in the unused bathroom while Melendra Kinsey's ghost approaches. Julie gives birth to a healthy baby girl, cradling her immediately. The floor collapses, injuring Julie but leaving the baby safe. Daniel runs to help, but Julie sees her own dead body, realizing she has become a ghost too. The little boy guides her to Andrew, and she is resurrected by medics. Delmy's ghost works away with Andrew, bringing Julie to tears. Several years later, Daniel and Julie live happily with their little girl and cat, and the haunting ghost figure is gone. The movie ends, and that's the chilling story of Julie's haunting. From a seemingly normal house to a terrifying encounter with restless spirits, Julie's journey reminds us that some paths never truly rest, and some warnings are too real to ignore. With courage, love, and a mother's instinct, Julie survives the horrors that sought to claim her and her unborn child. Years later, she and Daniel finally find peace, raising their daughter safely, with the shadows of the past finally fading away. This story is a haunting reminder. The things we cannot see sometimes are closer than we think. If you enjoyed this movie recap, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more spine chilling recaps every week.